Welcome to The Void, the internet's premier discussion podcast about absence, nothingness, and the unknowable empty wasteland of space which surrounds us, threatening at any moment to overwhelm and engulf us. On today's 2-hour massive abyss special, I discuss with no one the creeping sense of mortality given by an exponentially expanding consciousness, whether you see emptiness as spherical or some different shape, and a guide to void howling, how to do it right. But first, a word from our sponsors. The Void is sponsored by Squarespace. Making a website doesn't have to be a chore. Squarespace makes it easy. You just picture your website as a space, square in nature, and throw shit into it until that emptiness is filled. Head to squarespace.com/thevoid and start hurling your junk onto the internet. Squarespace! Good luck being an internet millionaire. Now back to the podcast, The Void. There is nothing, 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 there is something. Grapplings, chippers, it's the podcast of the venerable and sacred order of the scholastic trapezoid, colloquially known as the Carpenters. It's your boy brother Marcus on the ones and twos, 15th column of the central ring, high barm divot in the plinthiest of plinthies, and marketing officer. Plank, wood, great, good, yes, please, I, would, plank, wood, great, good, yes, please, I, would.
Plank, wood, great, good, yes, please, I, would. Plank, wood, great, good, yes, please, I, would. Yes, please.
I'm sure you see signs everywhere of the protection and sustenance of the scholastic trapezoid. I see it in a baby's tiny finger or a dog's eye. Where do you see signs of the protection and sustenance of the scholastic trapezoid? It's a rhetorical question, please don't let me know. Today I have news and views from the high bench, plus all the inspiration you could need to enrich your lonely life. But first, let's recite the Creed of Knots in full-throated roar, or mouth the words if you're cowering overnight in a Central American airport bathroom. As the bough of a tree has knots, I seek falsehood and fibs. Not. I abhor the trapezoid. Not. I besmirch Father Chastely. Not. O trapezoid, turn knots to nods, reveal your truth, and also no women. This is the word for those who need it. Public urination. Public urination. News from the high bench is next, so here it is. The current status is green, with Father Chastely still abroad. Brother Colin, a mixture of woozy and lucid. Woocid. Local ring meetings will happen in the usual time and place, although if your ring has been affected by the recent spate of flu epidemics, be aware that they may have been moved somewhere more wipe clean. The central ring is unstoppably meeting this week. Not Tempest nor Squall shall temper our ardour for the trapezoid, local traffic jams notwithstanding. I know I sound like a stuck bloody record on this point, but please remember both cloak and clogs when attending meetings. There are scant spares in the organisation, and some of those spares are really sweaty. Which brings me to the next item. Do you know your way around a sewing machine, or know an understanding woman who might help? We need spare cloaks. They must be yellow, mid-leg, and feature the distinctive pointed hood. We don't go in much for cinched waists, ruching, or fringed hemwork. Not anymore. We moved past that in the late 70s. If you can help, patterns will be put online, by which I mean they will be pegged onto the washing line outside the high bench. Do you like skiing? Using gravity to descend from the top of a slope to the bottom using a variety of sticks is popular, particularly when snow is involved, and an enterprising clump of carpenters have started a ring in a Val d'Isère chalet, offering exacting studies of the shavings, gnarly powder, and some kind of hot booze to take the edge off. If you're interested in wintry nonsense, be at Heathrow on Sunday and wear a red hat. Heathrow, Sunday, red hat. Heath, sun, red. Heath, sun, red. And finally, what foods are appropriate for ring meeting after snacks? A new guide, desktop published by Brother Douglas, aims to lift the lid on the Tupperware box marked appropriate ring meeting after snacks and give a definitive guide. The headlines: mini sausages still go down well, barbecue ribs a no-no, sushi surprisingly okay, 20p for printing. News out.
There's one part of a life that's tricky to ignore. No matter how you battle, it's knocking at your door. Its call is elemental, its grip is wicked strong. It's both text and subtext of every Usher song. I'm talking sexy business, doing it with a spouse. Sweaty flailing limbs on every surface in the house. But chastely fights back against what society's become, calling every carpenter to do as he has done. Abstain, 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 abstain. Never put your bits on anybody else again. Abstain, 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 abstain. Abstention brings you closer to the trapezoid. Monica and Chandler were better for they boned. Niles should have left Daphne helping Martin round his home. The Scottish nun in Call the Midwife should have stayed a nun. They couldn't keep it in their trousers, look what they've become. Abstain, 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 abstain. Never put your bits on anybody else again. Abstain, 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 abstain. Abstention brings you closer to the trapezoid. Abstain, 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 abstain. I like big butts, but I'll leave yours alone, thanks all the same. Abstain, 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 abstain. Abstention brings you closer to the trapezoid. Abstain, 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 abstain. No positions in a one-night stand, no join me dancing naked in the rain. Abstain, 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 abstain. Abstention brings you closer. Abstention brings you closer to the trapezoid.
This is the word for those who need it. Defamation of character. Defamation of character. A reading from the shavings. One night at sup, Father Chastely took up an ornamental gourd that was making the table look less shitty. He went to each of the oaksmen in turn and touched the gourd to their foreheads. "May you be fruitful like this humble gourd," he said, but obviously less orange. Brother Gorgor said, "What is the significance of this, O Chastely?" Father Chastely paused. "You shall know when I return," he said. "Just don't touch the gourd." "Why not?" said Brother Philip, prodding the gourd with his finger. Chastely remained silent, but put the gourd on a tall shelf. 5 days later, Brother Philip was struck with a great sickness, a fever, and bum stuff. Father Chastely came to his bedside. "That's why you don't touch the gourd," he said. Following Brother Eugene's rallying cries against the membership of women in the Carpenters, other brothers have got in touch to offer their views. Believe me, I've tried to stop this. It's at best ungallant, at worst downright rude, but nevertheless, Brother Augustine felt unable to stay silent.
They're not really team players.
Thank you, Brother Augustine. This is the word for those who need it. Illegal nuclear proliferation. Illegal nuclear proliferation. Pets Corner! Pets Corner. The shavings advocate for brothers owning and enjoying the company of pets, and we'll throw some focus on carpenter pets in each podcast. First up is Brother Andrew in the Whitby Ring, who owns 2 terrapins, Bonehead and Tony, named after departed members of the Britpop stalwarts Oasis. Their former bandmates / terrapins, Liam, Noel and Gwigsy, are long since dead. Thank you, Brother Andrew. Pets Corner. That's it for today, brothers. Be kind to each other, and non-carpenters, I suppose. Ignore us on Twitter @NotCarpenters, and turn a blind eye to that subscription button in iTunes. You're better than that. Let us part through chanting by parting whilst chanting the parting chant. Trapezoid, unite us. Carpenter, form us. Shavings, teach us. Haters, do one. Brothers, onward. Nice to see you. Support for the Carpenters podcast comes from MeUndies.com, a startup selling pants through podcasts. A marketing brainstorm gone horribly right, MeUndies sends you pants because that's what counts as a business idea these days. They come in business investment PowerPoint blue, Bitcoin grey, and white spots on the background of your life slowly ebbing away never to return. MeUndies. Get your hands off MeUndies, there are boundaries, Martha.